Hey, Debbie Hodge here. I think I'm live. Sorry about that. Sorry about the stutter. Debbie Hodge here from getitscrap.com, and where we show you how to give your photos stories and give those stories a home on the scrapbook page. And I'm here with a little bit of inspiration for you as we roll into the weekend, something inspired by a recent blog post put together by our teammate Amy Kingsford at Get It Scrapped, who is responsible for the blog content there now. Comes up with so many great ideas that the creative team then helps her realize. So I'm getting ready to scrapbook a little bit. We're still in Calvin Ball at Get It Scrapped. And as I get ready to scrapbook, I was looking for some inspiration, and one thing we like to do at Get It Scrapped is show you how you can be inspired by a style. And we've done articles on how to be inspired by mid-century modern style, Nordic style, nautical style, storybook style. So a recent blog post is on being inspired by the flea market style. I really love the look of this. And by flea market style, we're talking about a decor style that's eclectic, that mixes probably curated pieces if you do have a flea market kind of style around your house. I love this style and I'm really drawn to it. I think it might be because I don't actually have it in my house. If I show you this, this is my little corner of office, and I do have a little bit of eclectic pretty stuff back here, but mostly our house is sort of more modern and clean. So I love this style when I come to scrapbook. I love mixing these kind of pieces. So as Amy wrote the blog post, which you can find at getitscrap.com/pageguide8, and I'll tell you that again at the end. Usually this would incorporate the kind of things you might find at a flea market: vintage pieces, secondhand pieces, antique collectibles. You might mix patterns and textures. So I'll give you 4 ideas, 4 tips for getting the flea market style onto your page. And even if you don't think you want to get the flea market style, look at this for liftable kind of ideas, just for ways to tell your story with these kind of pieces. So the first tip that Amy and our team have for you, it comes from a page by Kelly Sraka, and that's to choose papers and patterns and embellishments that have a vintage feel. So the story that Kelly's telling here is of some bookshelves. Let's see, I'm looking at the notes. These are some old bookcases that these are antique pieces that she found at a local consignment store that she replaced bookcases that had been in her family room with. So she wanted to use the flea market style to document this kind of look, because these pieces have that flea market style. You can see they're featured in the photos there. So she chose papers and patterns and embellishments that looked vintage and worn. She's got a craft bag, she's got cork stickers, there's a bit of tulle, there's a doily. So, and then a final touch that she added was to distress the edges of the pattern papers to give them a worn look. So, take a look. Is there anything you think you might want to lift here? Something that I'm really liking are the mix of florals, and how she's mixed. Her background has a small motif floral that's all in mint and cream, or green and cream. So it's it's one color with a neutral. She hasn't mixed colors there. And then this print over here has a much larger floral print. The one over to the side, it's large yellow flowers with green that she's got there. So it pulls that green from the background. She's using that same green. And then she's got this one that's got pinks and greens over here. And those two aren't right next to each other. But I love that mix of florals, the repetition of the florals, and that often says vintage to me. So a second way to get the flea market style onto your page is to use leftover embellishments and found objects to tell your story. And Shan Fair is really masterful at this. Her page is about, I'm just going to check, I think it's a trip to Berlin. Yeah, this page is about some old buildings that her family explored in Berlin, and she felt like every window was telling her a different story from its past, especially because this was a tenement that's been gentrified, turned into chic shops. So she really liked the idea of getting the history at them with a granny's attic type look of work with her embellishments. So she turned to her scrap basket, and she said her scrap basket has every little bit of thing left over from previous projects. So she found punched shapes. She said that this is the kind of great thing to do if you're taking place in an embellishment swap. So another thing here, and this is a liftable for me that I'm going to try, that Shan uses a lot. She often uses a white background, lots of white space, and she likes to mix whimsical and colorful elements. And she often uses this really strong black piece to ground things. So here she's got black, hits of black in all of her clusters, but especially this big black bow to ground the photos to the page. And she's used Instagram-sized, square-sized photos, and this measuring tape mounts them. So that was tip 2, use leftover embellishments and found objects to tell your story and to get that flea market kind of look. So let's see what we've got for tip 3. Tip 3 comes from Kelly Prang. So these first 2 pages are paper pages made with paper elements. This page doesn't look it, but this is a digital page. It might to some of you. So this is a digital page, and Kelly's tip is to use texture and dimension so that you inspire this I want to reach out and touch it kind of response in someone. And the photo that she's scrapbooking is a friend's daughter. Kelly did a photo shoot of this young woman right before her performance in the Nutcracker. And so Kelly said as she made the page, she took dance classes, so she remembers loving the costume and the stage lights, but she also remembered that feeling when you're backstage and you're all crowded in and there's, the props and the costumes. So she really wanted to use a flea market kind of look to get that feeling on the page. So she said that she used all kinds of, she used gems and ribbons and doilies and curled tape, all kinds of pieces of, also it looks like ephemera that could come from a paper craft store. So that's tip number 3, use texture and dimension so that people want to reach out and touch it, and you really do get that feeling of a flea market. The final page comes from Christy Strickler, and I think this is the story. Her son was, I think, nipped or bit by a goat when he was young. Let me just look at my notes here. Let's see. Yeah, Christy said, this is the story of my son and how he was cautious about goats after one was a bit aggressive with him at a petting zoo. So this is a paper page. So Christy's tip is to combine old and new products because you really do get an eclectic look. You get that idea that you're mixing things that shouldn't go together, and yet you help them go together. You make them go together on your page. So Christy said that she had... let's see, what did she use? She had some older items she had items that are styled in an older way because of their color and pattern. And then she added pops of brighter blue, green, and light orange to make it feel energetic. So this is a really great looking page. And nice little liftable tip here. She used her son's dialogue, or what she imagines her son dialogue to be. Hey, that goat took my bread is her title. And she's outlined around those alphas to get them to stand out against her busier pattern paper. Just like Shan, she's also got this cluster of gems and little elements. If you want to look more closely at these ideas and get your own guide, you can go to getitscrapped.com/pageguide8. Whoops, I see that's not totally showing up on your screen. Hold on one second. getitscrapped.com/pageguide8. And we've got the full blog post. There's more layouts by the creative team over there. And you can also download this page guide. This is page guide number 8. Amy's created a whole series of these page guides with blog posts starting in 2017 that you can put together in your own binder for ideas, or you can just check them out digitally to get going. So I would love to hear what you're scrapbooking this weekend. I hope this inspires you. Be sure to go to getitscrapped.com/pageguide8 to check out all the ideas and get your printable. Have a great weekend. Bye. Oops, I'm going off any minute. I'm just trying to find the end broadcast button. I've hidden it. There we go. End live video. Bye.